Hey guys, and welcome back to the 12 Days of Crochet Christmas. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to be sharing quick, beginner-friendly patterns that are perfect for gifting or decorating your house during the holidays. Today we're going to learn how to crochet a wine bottle cozy for beginners. If you're excited about the 12 Days of Crochet Christmas, be sure to subscribe to my channel and turn on those notifications so you don't miss a single pattern. For today's tutorial, you will need two contrasting colors of yarn. I'm using red and green because they're Christmas colors, but if you're not making this for Christmas, then of course you can use any colors that you'd like. You will also need a 6mm crochet hook, a pair of scissors, and a tapestry needle. Now we're going to get started with the color green. First, create a slip knot and chain 2. Now place 6 single crochet into the second chain. So your first chain is here, your second chain is here. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. And that's 1. Place 6 single crochet all into this same chain. And then slip stitch to the first single crochet of the round. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and through the loop on your hook. For round 2, chain 1 and place 2 single crochet in each stitch around. And slip stitch to join. At the end of round 2, you should have 12 stitches. For round 3, chain 1, place 2 single crochet into the first stitch, and then 1 single crochet into the next. 2 single crochet into the next stitch, and 1 single crochet into the next, and repeat that pattern around. 2 single crochet, 1 single crochet. And slip stitch to join. At the end of round 3, you should have 18 stitches. Now for round 4, we're going to chain 1, place 2 single crochet into the first stitch, and 1 single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. Two single crochet into the next, and 1 single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, and repeat that pattern around. At the end of round 4, slip stitch to join, and you should have 24 stitches in this round. For round 5, chain 1, place 2 single crochet in the first stitch, and 1 single crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. 2 single crochet into the next, and 1 single crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. And again, repeat that pattern around. At the end of round 5, slip stitch to join, So for the bottle that I'm making this for, that would be it for my increase round. Depending on what kind of wine bottle or beer bottle or water bottle or any kind of bottle that you're making this for, you want to make sure that this circle lines up with the bottom of your bottle. For the wine bottle I'm using, this circle lines up almost exactly, and so that's where I'm going to stop with my increasing. But if your circle is too small, then continue increasing in the same pattern that we've been doing. So for example, the next round would have 4 single crochet in between each increase. And if your bottle is smaller than this, then you'll take back some rows. If you feel like it lines up exactly, but it might be too small, I would go ahead and add another round just in case. Now that we're done with our increase rounds, we're going to start making the sides of the bottle. So for round 6, we're going to chain 1 and single crochet in each stitch around. And if you're following the tutorial exactly as I'm going, then you should have 30 stitches in this round. At the end of round 6, slip stitch to join. Now we're going to create a round of waistcoat stitches. If you've never done the waistcoat single crochet, I'm going to give you a few tips as we go over this round. So for the waistcoat, it makes your stitches a lot tighter and it gives it that knit look. And because it makes your stitches tighter, it can put some strain on your hands if you're not using the correct hook size. So I recommend using a hook size that's 2 sizes larger than the recommended hook size on your yarn. So for example, this yarn here is Bernat Super Value, and it recommends a 5mm hook, and that's why we're using a 6mm hook. If you're using a different yarn weight, make sure you keep that in mind. Now for round 7, chain 1, and we're going to waistcoat single crochet in each stitch around. Here's our first single crochet here, and you can see that there are 2 legs that form the single crochet. We're going to insert our hook in between those 2 legs. So right in between here. So we're not going into the top of the stitch, we're going right through the middle of the stitch. Then yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. So see how we went right through the middle of that stitch. Now we're going to do that for each stitch around, and sometimes it might be a little tight getting in there, but you just got to wiggle it in. This first row of waistcoat stitches is going to be the hardest, but once you get through this row, it gets easier. So just continue waistcoat stitching in each stitch around. And even though we're using a hook size that's larger than what's recommended, I'm still making my stitches a little more loose than what I usually do. And I'm not sure how well you can see this, but this is the next stitch that we're going through. If you look at this stitch on the back side, you'll see this little bar here. That's where your hook should be inserted into when it's creating the waistcoat. So we'll insert our hook into the middle of the stitch here, and then you'll see in the back that it's going right underneath that bar. So if you're trying to double check to make sure you're doing it right, that's where you're supposed to be. Now slip stitch to join. And that is your first row of waistcoat stitches. Now for rounds 8 through 11, we're just going to repeat round 7. So chain 1 and waistcoat stitch into the first stitch and each stitch around. So I will meet you at the end of round 11. Once you reach the end of round 11, you're going to want to change to your next color. Now to do this, insert your hook like you're slip stitching to the first single crochet of the round, drop your green color, and grab some red, or whichever color you're using, and just pull through those loops, and then chain 1 to start the next round. I'm going to pull on these strands to make sure it's nice and tight. And again, we're just going to repeat round 7 and waistcoat stitch in each stitch around. Now you can choose to cut this yarn and weave it in now, or you can just leave it there and grab it when you're ready to switch your color again, which is what I'm gonna do. And by the way, this is what your waistcoat stitch should look like. See how it looks like a knit pattern? I think it's so neat that you can do that with crochet. Now you're going to repeat round 7 for the next 6 rows, and then you're going to go back and change your yarn color again. And with the green, you'll have another 6 rounds and so on. So I will meet you at the end of round 41, and we're going to do something different to finish off the cozy. Now I've just changed my color for the last time, and I'm just going to continue the waistcoat stitch around. But since this is our last time changing yarn color, we're going to have 9 rows of green yarn instead of 6. So continue waistcoat stitching for the next 9 rows, and I will meet you at the end of round 50. At the end of round 50, you're going to slip stitch to join, grab your scissors, and tie off your work. All right, so let's take a look at this. We have our first 5 rows of increases, then a plain row of single crochet. Then for rounds 7 through 11, we're doing the waistcoat stitch in green. For rounds 12 through 17, we have red. For rounds 18 through 23, we have green. For rounds 24 through 29, we have red. For rounds 30 through 35, we have green. And rounds 36 through 41 will be red. And for rounds 42 through 50, we have green. So each of these are 6 rounds. And for our last color change, we have 9 rows. Now all you have to do is cut a strand of green and thread your yarn. And the 5th row down, we're going to insert our tapestry needle. I'm going to start right here because this is about the center of my wine cozy. And you're going to weave your tapestry needle in and out of every other stitch. And then pull it through. Pull it through until there's about this much left, and then continue weaving in and out of each stitch around. Once you reach the last stitch, you'll want to even out your tie as best you can. So right now, they're pretty off. So I'm going to pull this one a little bit more so that they match up. They match up pretty well. And now you just have to weave in your unfinished yarn, because I clearly didn't yet, and grab your wine bottle. Give it a good tie. And you're finished. I hope you enjoyed making this crochet wine bottle cozy today. And let me know in the comments if this was your first time trying the waistcoat stitch. Tag me on Instagram at Sigoni Macaroni or inside the Facebook group with all of your makes. And remember that over the next few days, I'm going to be sharing a quick beginner-friendly giftable pattern for the 12 days of Crochet Christmas. So be sure to subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single pattern. I'll see you in the next one.